Oh, look at that. I actually got it to work. I've never done recording on the cloud, so this is interesting. This is my first because we're in our new healing room. We're not in an office anymore, and we kicked the desk away. Before I go any further,
desk on the fire pit.
Welcome, Trevor and Eileen Bild. We are so excited to have you both on our channel. We're so excited that we get to have a dialogue about connection, about what it means to you guys, what it shows up like in the world that you guys are living in, because you guys live extraordinary lives. I mean, I'm sure you guys carry that tagline forever, but welcome to coming to our channel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah. Thank you, and thank the Academy.
Who are you? We've already bought 5 warranties.
I don't even have a computer.
She gets those calls. She knows how to handle them. I guess.
But you know what I do? I disconnect.
Yeah, I hear you.
I get that. Absolutely.
Ooh, see what you did there? That's kind of a sneaky way to start talking about connection.
Snuck that in. You're welcome.
Well, the first thing you need to know is how to disconnect, right?
That's one of the first things we learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really kind of is. If you look back at your childhood, when did you remember learning how to disconnect from those you're connected to?
When you get angry.
There it is. And what kinds of things does anger take you through?
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Oh, man.
Does the anger ever heal the hurt?
Anger.
No, but sometimes it makes it feel better.
Well, that's true.
Anger is
You know what I mean?
Anger is
I
very
mean,
motivating.
I've seen a pillow or two in my day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have found anger to do nothing but feed on my hurt and my hurt self. And I was like, what would happen if I just sat with the hurt and didn't get angry? Something miraculous happened. I think I felt, I don't even think it was a thought. It was more of a feeling. It was like there wasn't nothing feeding on that hurt anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hurt changed into something else. But, you know, nobody really connects to that, not in the way that they probably should. But if you look at how our connections are, you know, how you guys are and how we are, we have found that connecting through everything we feel has a lot more meaning to what we think.
Yeah, most of my life, whenever I was angry or felt hurt or didn't like my circumstances, then I launched into nature. So I went out in the fields, I went to the pond, I went to the stream, I took my fishing pole, and during that period of time, I basically resolved that it just didn't really matter that much, that it was just more my perspective. So I didn't internalize what could be pain.
Yeah.
So I just approached it a little bit differently. Anything that's really painful, I only have a couple things in my life that was very painful. And for me to know if I've grown any, I just revisit that experience and see how I feel. And if I still feel painful about it, then for me, and this works for me, it might not work for everybody, for me, then I look at, okay, why does this feel painful to me still? And in many times, I rewrite that history by looking at what good thing came out of this. I look for the good part that came out so that I can let go of that pain, because I got a benefit out of what was painful to me. And that's the way I approach it.
What was the benefit?
It doesn't work for everybody.
What was the benefit?
The benefit is having the experience tucked away so that you can understand and maybe be assistance to other people without dragging anything that you would consider baggage with you, because you kind of rewritten the story so that it is what happened is a benefit. The benefit would be, I went through this experience, I've learned something from it. If I bump into this kind of experience again, then I know to not be here. And what we talked about in the beginning, disconnect.
Right. Absolutely. Eileen, same for you?
I've never been one to be angry. It's hard.
I tried.
That angers me.
I actually tried to teach her swear words. I got her to say one swear word.
Yeah.
You should have recorded it. We could have probably sold that for a minute.
I probably.
All right. So for me, you know, pain and anger, it's because I'm such a peaceful, kind of easygoing person. And I have to say, I don't understand anger and pain in the way that probably everybody else does, because I don't like to hold on to it. You know, I want to be able to feel good. And if I have pain or if I have anger because of something that causes pain, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain, I immediately find a way to course correct it. So, you know, like Trevor, I don't hold on to the emotional attachment to it. I look at, well, what do I need to do now? What do I need to do I need to say something? Do I need to take an action that will transform that into something that feels good? And so I think that's helped me a lot in my life to be able to do things quicker and move things forward faster and be, you know, that sense of peace for not only myself, for us, but also for the people that come into my life. Because I'm always told, you're not just peaceful, you are peace. So
one of the things I've discovered in the process with her on this is she does face pain once in a while, something that really hurt her, that bothered her, and it'll come up in a conversation. And being who we are, we understand that when that comes up, that emotion is very valid, and that emotion needs to be validated as real and listen to. And then once listened to, then she gets the opportunity to change how she wants to think about it. So then what other options are available to think how I want to think about what this happened, and then she'll come up with a new option on her own, and then move on. And she's very quick at that. The thing that you have to avoid, from what I understand, is it's not, you don't want to bury it. It's not about sticking your head in the sand.
Right.
If you do that, you're going to have to deal with it and deal with it and deal with it over and over again. The process is that it's validated, that it's actually a real feeling that is true to that person, and you honor that emotion to where that person can decide to let go of that and adopt something different for thinking that's for the benefit of that person.
Mm-hmm.
Holding on to it, it becomes a drawback. It's going to keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back.
So I can't stay angry at him for long.
No, she can't. I won't allow it.
He said I won't allow it.
So I mean, do we have a little I don't know, what would you call whatever we have?
It's those I don't want to talk about it moments.
Right, but then I say, we're going to talk about it, sit back down.
Right. Yeah.
Good way to
And
get
we
yourself
do.
hurt.
Well, we do talk about it, and
We do.
I will.
It's just like now she's talking about something I don't want to talk about.
Well, too, I don't want to talk about why I'm angry. I want to talk about why I'm hurt.
There.
So we go through 2 days of arguing over the dumb symptoms that came from the actual source, which is
Right.
the hurt. Like, what is, and it could literally be something so minute that has festered over the past couple of days that just vomits out in every earwax, nose, snot, word in it. Right? It does that. It could be 2 days later, and it just can come out. And I called so-and-so and they didn't answer the phone. But you know what I mean? Like, whoa.
Where'd that come from, right?
But if it hurt, right? If it was something that actually hurt me, then that hurt eventually is going to get to my mind, and my mind is going to transform that hurt into anger. And it's going to make up stories about why that person didn't answer. Oh, they saw me calling, they've ignored me, they've got me blocked. Oh, and then in 1982, they did this. They did that last week too, as a matter of fact. And as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago on a Sunday, they did this. And the next thing you know, 2 days later, you have a list as big as Santa Claus, right? And it's the truth. And really, all I needed to say was, I'm really hurt that they didn't answer.
Exactly.
That's it. And that's all I needed to say.
Have you noticed, have you ever been like the observer? So you know this is going on, you know what you're thinking, and you start watching yourself, and at a certain point you go, why in the heck, what the heck is going on here? Does that happen where you start questioning, why am I doing this, and maybe I should stop?
Come on, man.
All the time.
You're gonna knock the camera over. Go.
This morning.
Go.
Oh.
The dogs are picking up on this too. The dogs are all invading the room. No, I do that. I do that all the time. I get mad because I was mad too.
Sometimes it feels good to be mad though.
Yeah.
It's like
I
a
get mad
lot.
because I was mad. I get pissed off because I was pissed off. And because I didn't want to be pissed off. I don't want to
No,
be that.
because you want to feel good. You don't want to be, because it
be
doesn't
pissed
feel
off.
good when you're angry and mad, because you feel
Yeah.
like you've been
But
wrong.
what Trevor said, then you wonder. I go on a wonder trip.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, we'll go into our different places, and then we come back and we're able to rationally talk through whatever the challenge might have been. I mean, it doesn't happen that often, but when it does. And, we have to be in a place where we're not in our head in order to resolve any conflict.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the things, and I think a lot of times people, they really, when they get into where both people are in an emotional state and thinking state, because our thinking creates our emotions, to where they've taken positions, and yet the best thing at that point is for both people to go think about it. For some reason, there's always one person that doesn't want to disconnect for that thinking time.
Mm.
So there's always, in most couples, there's the one that wants to follow the other around, or the person that goes, that's it, I'm out of here, and then takes off. There's different ways of doing it, but it seems to me, that if both people agree, we need to both go do something else and think about it, and it's an agreement to do that, then most of the time you just sit there after a little bit, you go, what the heck was that? It's not even worth it.
Craig, go.
Craig, go lay down.
Go on.
He's
Go.
over here just bugging us.
Go.
Am I in trouble?
No.
No. Craig
Craig's
the
in
dog
trouble.
is like up in my face and he's trying to get over here and I'm trying to like kind of keep him. They always want to be a part of the interview or part of the show. But literally when we're not doing a show, they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah, they like that
They feel
energy.
the
don't
energy
they?
of connection
Yeah.
and they come running in the room.
There they go.
That's
So-
literally how they are.
So, does Lee ever get angry?
Lee understands that when he is angry, he's feeding on hurt. And when angry Lee is available, that means I got to stay in my heart now more than ever. Because if I go to my head is going to win a story that I don't want to be a part of. I noticed that, like you said, your mind creates the emotion. My mind creates the emotion and then drops it like a pebble inside of my body. And next thing you know, I'm the stone and not the being. Anger to me now is almost pointless because I know that it comes from hurt. So what I do is I connect to the me inside of the hurt and say, okay, what are you really hurt about? And then I listen to hear anything. Most of the time I don't hear anything. So I know that I'm in my head and what I'm feeling isn't getting all of my attention. So I literally have to step out and go, get back into what you feel, not what you think you feel, because you don't see that as a disconnect. And until somebody really is next to you and they see that you're able to go, I got to disconnect from what I'm thinking because my feeling needs my attention. And this connection, she has reflected back to me so many times when I'm in my head versus when I'm in my heart. And that helped me start seeing it more than I ever knew that I could possibly see it. And I would tell you, life is much better being in what I feel versus what I think. because I have missed so much being in my head and being connected through time, not realizing that wasn't a connection, that was an obsession, instead of being connected to me here in the now, which I have to feel my surroundings. And the more I stay in the feelings of my surroundings, the more I can pay attention to the vibration of it, especially if the mind's trying to get involved and change the vibration. I notice that if I just stay in the peace, that's what we have. But if non-peace comes into that, it transmutes into peace again because I'm staying in the feeling of peace, not the thoughts about it.
Here's a question for you. Where does that non-peace part come from?
The mind.
There, got it.
The mind is, it's always been that device I think we've all had, that when we were really, really young, it told us the story of why we were disconnected from or told us not to feel. And literally when you end up finding that you have a lot of unresolved emotions, you find that you're still in your head and those unresolved emotions are still waiting for you. It's like that big smack in the face in that moment.
Yeah.
The stories keep building. They actually, the original memory is gone.
Oh, yeah. And this is what people, I think, when we were talking, we were like, that is Dark Night of the Soul. When you really look at what Dark Night of the Soul is, it's showing you everything you think versus everything you feel. And you get to choose. And you don't see that you keep choosing the same thought patterns and processes. You never choose the feeling that'll release you from it.
There you go.
Right.
I will answer your question though, Trevor, and say yes, he does still on occasion get angry. However, I do got to follow that up with the universe works in such mysterious ways that Lee began this descendant of I don't want to say descendant, but he inherited this ability
That's a good way to put it.
to be able to transfer that anger back when he catches himself getting angry. Because look, I'm a triggerer for a living. and I can do that because I'm good at it. So, you know, it being in union and connection, we oftentimes, I'm going to say I oftentimes think, well, we're connected. He should freaking know how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Okay? So why is he asking me really dumb questions that he knows the answer to? Where's your magic at now, Lee? So
See the little hook for the trigger for the anger right there? Don't even fall for it. I'm like,
right.
I'm like the fish in the water looking at the hook like this.
Yeah, I used to be able to go out and buy better lures, like brighter ones with shiny ones, and he would bite. Now I've got like the disco balls going on down there, and he's like, well, looks kind of cool, but I'm staying away for now, right? But the universe works so amazingly that we started being able to do that before I was diagnosed with a disorder and a disease that makes toxins go to my brain and bring shit out of my mouth that shouldn't be coming out, right? Because it's not in here, it's in here, right? So the toxins get to my brain and I will just, the interesting thing is I don't even know what I'm saying or where I'm at or what I'm doing, but he has this uncanny ability because he went through that before I got sick. If he wouldn't have, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, the universe gave him that gift first because he needed it. I promise you, he needs it, right? It gets rough. It gets rough. And he has this amazing ability to be able to calm me and get me to take my medication and to do whatever I need to do to calm down or set with me.
Yeah, I stay connected to her heart in a very deep way.
Yeah. I could be saying the horriblest things.
And
horrible.
The ability she's referring to is what I believe everybody points to when they say 5D, but they're not really paying attention to the judgment or the identity they created in it, which it doesn't have any of that. It just has a conscious state. So when I'm listening to her, when I'm staying connected to what I feel for her, my consciousness is fully conscious. It's not, I don't need the unconsciousness to be connected, because this unconsciousness doesn't even know what this consciousness is. So when I'm speaking from pure consciousness. I'm not speaking from the judgments or the identity that this is created for me, because this was here when I needed to know why I wasn't connected to. This was here telling me I was connected all along.
So you're listening, because you really have to listen when something like that's going on. Your listening then has to be fully non-judgmental too, right?
Absolutely. And that really lets me know when she's in pain, lets me know when she's really hurt, or when she's really scared, or when she's really lost.
But even before that, he was able to turn that and disconnect from the anger. I want to use that. Yeah. He was able to disconnect from that anger. Way more. I mean, back in the day and when we were trying to figure things out, of course there was anger. There was a lot of anger. It was ugly. I mean, it was ugly. I don't know how many, well, the whole world knows how many times we broke up. I don't even know. We didn't count, right? I don't know. A lot. And believe me, there was some shitty things said in those breakups. It wasn't pretty. We didn't go, oh, here's a dozen roses, you screw you. We didn't do that. You know, I mean, there was right? But yeah, the more we've progressed and learned how this connection works, that's the interesting thing, is learning how the connection works with us, you know, learning how the connection works in you guys, and how everybody's connection works is different. Our connection works differently. I can send Lee a message to pick up something at the store because I'm open. I'm open to that. But if I'm trying to send him a message and I'm pissed, or I'm doing something I don't want to do, or I'm thinking that maybe he should be washing this pan, and I'm thinking it while I'm doing it, he ain't gonna hear that. He's not gonna hear that. But if he's at the store and I'm like, babe, can you pick up a banana?
And
he's gonna pick it up.
What's interesting about that is we now understand why that's possible. We didn't really have the words for it before, but literally, if Sherry has the taste of a banana in her mouth, it goes right to the heart. We've used that banana
for years, but it's the same story.
But if you really think about what your actual see, hear, smell, touch, taste is connected to your heart, not your mind. So when she tastes the banana, it comes through my heart to my taste buds, so I know exactly what she needs. But you can't hear that if you're up here. So telepathy.
If she's upset and in her head, then that taste doesn't go through.
No, at all.
If
You won't
I'm
be able
in
to feel that at all.
I hear in my heart, help me.
Yeah.
I hear it, and then I connect, and then I know exactly what she needs. If I connect, I'll have a taste of ammonia if her levels are up. I'll have a taste of, it's almost like I get a taste of
copper.
Almost a
Metally.
copper metal taste, a metal taste when it's too high. And then I can taste when she's coming down off of that, I can start to taste every flavor of every drink she's drinking at that moment. Whether it's water, because she does sparkling water, but she drinks sparkling water, and actually it does help me in this connection because I can't stand cranberry lime, but every time she sips it and I'm in my heart, I'm tasting it, and I might have developed a way to taste it. But what's interesting is like her body, for example, she was an avid Coca-Cola drinker. So
well, beer too. I liked beer.
I always loved Coca-Cola.
Not as much as I love the Coca-Cola.
But I didn't drink Coca-Cola a lot. But neither one of us can drink it now. Every time I drink it, it's so
thick.
Yeah. The sugar or whatever it is. Whatever.
I was an addict. I'm not even gonna lie. I was a Coke addict right here. Coca-Cola addict, right? I had one for breakfast every morning. Every morning. Up until
she had 3 or 4 by noon.
Up until January. February?
It would have might no. It was actually December when you found out you didn't touch Coke. You had me get rid of it.
I didn't touch anything. I drink sparkling water now. Thank God they make sparkling water in flavors. But yeah, I didn't.
She does have certain, because I couldn't understand why over the years though. I couldn't understand why I would taste blood every now and then. I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand the sharp pains I was getting in my back. I couldn't understand why I felt like sometimes my kidneys weren't working right. And I wouldn't have a problem, but then I would have a problem. And then I would go, wait a minute. When we literally got the diagnosis for everything, what it told us about our connection in that moment when we heard it, we went, duh. It was almost like a duh moment. Well, she's really, it literally, everything made sense. Every fight, every way that we kept trying to connect that we knew in our hearts we could, we didn't realize how deep some of the hurts, some of the pains that you stuff down do things to your body, and you're not even connected to you anymore. And when that happened, there felt like when we heard the diagnosis, we felt not only a reconnect, but almost a surge of energy that said, you can heal this, but you're going to have to fight. You're going to heal this, but you're going to have to stay deeply connected. And I don't know if you guys know a lot about hepatic encephalopathy.
Ooh, that was good.
But what it does is when her liver's being
my liver's not filtering the toxins.
It raises her ammonia level and her bioacid, and it goes straight to her head. And any emotion, she can laugh so hard and be in a seizure and you wouldn't know it. She could go into a coma very easily. She could be really super angry, and literally, she's on that edge. And I have to be the one that actually stands next to her, and I can hear her, but she will keep testing me to keep pushing me away because she feels like there's a part of her emotions that are still trying to pull her in, telling her that I'm not going to stand next to her for this. And then she feels me come through the heart and go, I'm right here.
Sherry,
and
how helpless do you feel during that time?
I don't know because I'm not there. So I'm not feeling anything in those moments, but coming out of them, going into them, I can feel. I can feel a little bit because the symptoms are real obvious with the speech gets a lot worse. I start to feel a little helpless at that point, but I start to feel like I can control it still. Like I want to have control over it, not have control over me. So I've learned some ways to be able to calm down those emotions to where they don't. If my levels are raising, they're raising because it's something that's physical. It's my emotions that's going to get them to a place where it doesn't need to be. you know, if my ammonia level's up and I'm sad, I'm just going to be crying the rest of the day. If I'm mad, I'm going to be a straight bitch the rest of the day. If I'm happy, I'm going to be laughing the rest of the day.
So it locks in whatever that current thinking and emotion was.
Yeah.
The adrenaline that comes from emotion is an overdrive.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
You
So
just gotta be happy all the time, Sherry.
Yeah.
yeah, and stay happy all the time.
oh, but I can literally look in her eyes and tell you if she's there, she's laughing so much because I've witnessed it. I've watched her laugh herself into an episode. And an episode can be a few minutes, a few hours, and now we're learning a few days. Sometimes to the point where, okay, I gotta walk away from everything and just stay right next to her. Because when she comes back, she's gonna be a little bit clear, but then when she comes back and she's fully clear,
That's when I feel helpless,
literally,
when I'm just coming back.
Yeah.
When I'm just coming back and I'm looking around and I'm obviously recognizing the place because it's my home, but why am I in the basement, or why am I in the bedroom, or how did I get out here? Like coming out of it, like how did I get here and what's happening? Kind of like the shit you see in the movies or in the show, and you're like, yeah, it doesn't really happen. You know what I mean? How did I get here? Multiple times a day, half the time. But that's when I feel the most helpless, is when I see him trying to bring me back and I'm just starting to come around. It's as if I'm a drug addict, honestly, and he's just trying to wake me up and get me to come out of it. You know, the only Narcan, for lack of better terms, is patience and unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People divorce over this stuff.
we
Yeah.
found groups full of them.
People commit suicide over this stuff. It's heavy.
Well, I'm sure it's difficult. And
It literally drives, and if those emotions are high and she feels suicidal, it's on. I literally have to come between her and the car keys. I have to come between her and any medication. I have to come between her and all of these places without sparking her anger even more.
Yeah, it becomes odd because when you're in that, if I'm in that sad place, then I can hear the doctor say, you know, you can't drink. That may be the last drink you ever take. You don't know.
Yeah.
You cannot take another Tylenol. You cannot take Tylenol. So there it is. There's, you know, when I'm in that episode or when I'm starting to go in or I'm in that anger, before I clock out, that's what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Tylenol. There's my way out.
Yeah.
There's my way out.
Yeah.
A handful of Tylenol and a couple bottles and a couple swigs of freaking Jack Daniels, and
I'm good.
I beat COVID. Right?
So how?
But it's very real.
It's very real.
Very real.
It's very real, and it's very disconnecting if you're not connected.
And
it's very scary.
We've maintained staying connected through this, and I would tell you, I don't know what it is that we could say any other way other than that. If you don't trust the connection to yourself, when are you going to start? Because that is the only way I'm staying connected to her. And I would tell you that value and the feeling of being connected in that way, it's connection where you came from. And that's how we're staying through this and staying connected.
I'm curious how you two stay connected in that space.
Man.
In the space of
because yeah, she went through fibromyalgia. Yeah, it's almost like you guys
that
learned.
Spider bite scared me.
Yeah
That spider bite scared me.
That physical pain, how did you stay connected to her, Trevor?
He asked you. How did you stay connected to me when I go through my pain?
I just paid attention to her, pretty much like you. You know, sometimes it made me tired.
Yeah,
but it was making her more tired.
But you could walk into a room and feel her hurt, or feel the pain she was going through. You felt it because you could not only physically see it, but something in you told you.
Yeah, I would know that, but my way of approaching it's a little bit different. So I had the knowledge on this side. This is what's going on. And then I had this other side that says, okay, this is how you need to approach this. And one of the things that for me, and it's just the way I believe, I did not, I validated how she was feeling going through these experiences and listened very well. But at the other hand, I wanted, to focus her thinking towards recovery. And instead of on this bad stuff's going on, I can recover, I can, come up with solutions, I can find the answer, so more of a hope side. But again, just like you, I had to listen. I had to listen and acknowledge how she felt so that she could move on from that point and adopt, new possibilities. And which she did. I mean, she did a lot of research, and she probably guided the doctors much more than they guided her.
I'm curious how you did that for her without someone doing that for you. If you're lifting someone else up, who's lifting you up? I wonder that with Lee all the time. Like, he's constantly lifting me up, and he's constantly a support. But I watch him melt down, and I watch him get tired, and I watch him cry, and I watch him break, and I can't hold him up. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna say something. Trevor sometimes feels hopeless and helpless in helping me because there's nothing he can do. The residuals I have right now is full body inflammation that flares up from time to time, and monthly migraines, which I never had before the spider bite. And when you have severe migraines that floors you, and there were times I said, shoot me, because it just was, because my brain gets compressed. I can't think, my speech gets affected, and of course the body's fighting it, so I'm just like mentally, physically, and emotionally, spiritually exhausted, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, there's really nothing anyone can do about it other than time and a lot of ice and sleep. And so, normally I'm a pretty active go-go person, and to be stripped from all of that, he's like helpless and hopeless and not being able to do anything. But I think on some level, in his own way, he's sending the energy, or he's visualizing me healing and getting better, and he's holding space in whatever capacity he can, in his own way, since physically and in the reality of it, he can't like take it out and take it away. And so, sometimes I'll ask him to just hold me. I just need to be held for that comfort. Sometimes I say, leave me alone, I'm gonna go get in bed.
And I'm like,
and don't wake me.
okay.
And
don't wake me. That's good. I like that. I'll use that.
yeah, don't wake me. And,
Don't wake me.
and then sometimes if I wake up in the morning and he's already awake and he's on the porch, and I'll come out and I can tell he's staying distant, and I'll say, I don't feel well. You can tell. He says, yes, I can tell. And he said, I'm just leaving you alone and, letting your body process whatever it needs to. But he knows if I really need him, all I have to do is ask, and he'll do whatever it is that I need. But it's gotten a heck of a lot better. It's been 5 years, and I'm able to be in the sun now. Not as long, not as much. The migraines still come, but they have their good days and their bad days. But the major flare-ups I was having have pretty much stopped. But I did a very strong protocol of supplements, and I worked with a nutritionist and a naturopathic doctor, and you know, I just dosed my body with things to help it be healthy again. And someone recently intuited that the spider was gone, that the residuals of the spider bite was gone. So now it's just a matter of strengthening. So, you know,
that poison stays in the lymph system for a while.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time for the body to slowly work that out. It has to release those toxins a little bit at a time. If it's all released into your body at once, you're very sick. So it takes time. And she's done a really good job. She's been very brave. And that's part of it. You know, when your body's being attacked,
from the inside.
From the inside out, it takes a lot of bravery just to get up in the morning and do the things that you at one time wanted to do that maybe today, this morning, you don't want to. but you know, so we kind of understand.
Do you think it's better? I don't want to use the word better. I don't like that word. Do you think it? Do you think it's easier going? That's a dumb word too, but I'm going to say it. Is it easier going through something so tragic? Can't find the words.
I think it's something easier to go through.
Oh, yeah. When you're connected to someone in union versus someone in a marriage, regular relationship.
I since there's an underlying connection that no matter what's happening in the mind at the time, no matter how the body is reacting to in a case of an assault internally, there's still this underlying connection underneath there that's a solid foundation that you just know. You know that you and that person are one,
right,
regardless of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's never in question. I'm sure there's never any question whether Lee's there for you, and there's never any question, I'm sure, that comes up in Lee's mind, whether he's there for you or that you're there for him. So that part right there stays absolutely, totally connected. There's always a foundation to fall back to. It's not human thinking, that person did this and I did this, and then, you know, and then you don't hang on to anything, because that part is still always there. That's the best thing.
And I think it connected in any way. It doesn't have to be normally a twin flame connection, but even a brother or sister or somebody who was in the womb with somebody, right? Twins, triplets, or whatever. There's that connection. There's a connection there. Sometimes that connection can come from it's the support. When it comes to a sickness, it's obviously much easier with support. But when there's an underlying connection, like Trevor said, the security is there. You know, Lee could be down there and by the lake with you guys, but he would still be here with me.
Right. Well, it's the unconditional love that has no judgment and doesn't have anything that takes away from what the pure essence of life is. What's that look for, Sherry?
It gave me flutters.
Yep.
Oh,
well, tell
okay.
people how they can find you guys, because I'm sure you're going to get people who want to talk to you. Sure of it.
Or what you do.
Yeah.
What is it you do?
Absolutely.
I mean, we know what you do.
Yeah.
We do a lot of things. Together, we are co-founders of Knob TV on Roku, and we're getting ready to launch another channel
Oh my gosh.
called Hotel Talk, and that'll be our second channel. And
That's actually a place where some of your shows should be on Hotel Talk.
yes, so we'll be talking to you about that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So they can email us for information about that, or if they want to talk to us about their content to put on. So it's a multi-category channel that has original music, podcasts, radio shows, personal development, health and healing, book reviews, and things are always being added. They can send an email to info@hotelproductions.com. And I am a Breakthrough Spark coach, and I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs re-engineer their brain to upgrade their thinking for massive success. So my background is, my foundation is the Core Thinking Blueprint Method. So I'm the founder of that method, and I'm all about thinking and moving forward. And you're just having the success that you want in life. Let's see, what else? So we have YouTube.
Together we film musicians and bands and concerts. We do all the camera work and all the production, all the editing, producing of those. Basically helping musicians to be appreciated, promote themselves. We do interview type stuff too. Not as much as you guys do, of course. But that's our way of working together on that. Most of our products kind of overlap on helping each other with them.
And then I also have a YouTube, which is Eileen Bild. And we have the Ordinary to Extraordinary Life YouTube, which covers all the videos, including, do we have their wedding up on the
Their
website?
wedding's there too.
Your wedding is on our
Yeah.
YouTube, the Ordinary to Extraordinary
Yeah.
Life.
We haven't seen it. We probably should go watch it. We should go watch that. We haven't seen that.
Yeah,
We
it was
watched
we
it.
have
I
it.
think we watched it when they first sent it.
I think we did.
We did watch it then.
But the most important question everybody's going to want to know, I have to know, and the whole world, anybody who's watching this wants to know what your hair care routine is, because clearly you guys know how to grow hair. Both of you. It's beautiful. It's luxurious. We do not know what we're doing, clearly. So if you could give us some tips, we would appreciate it. The whole world would.
How to get this stuff.
How to get this?
Yeah.
Well, part of it is we drink a lot of protein shakes when we're working out, but also there's a product
I
called
knew
MONAT, and I can give you information on the products if you like. Anybody who wants the young, beautiful, luxurious, shiny hair, and yeah, so that's our secret.
I'm 69 years old and got hair.
Yeah. And it's not all
We need to give
good,
Lee some of that shampoo or some of that product.
right?
Hey, Trevor, how about you give some of the lots of love over here?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm good with that. He might look a little funny.
Between you and Alan, he'd look great.
That's true. Alan still has
Wow.
long hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you guys. We love you guys.
Yes.
We love you
Thank
too.
you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for doing this with us.
Have a
today.
great evening.
Yes, you guys too. And thank you again. We love
Look
you
at our
both.
sky. You guys can't see it out there, can you? It is gray.
It looks great out there.
We'll stop recording, but the sky is so gray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a dark cloud.
But
We have some
we're
good
going to
ones.
stop recording. So thank you guys for watching us. Trevor and Eileen, stay right here.
Later.
Later.
Peace.
Peace out.
What did he do?